jalanthashchandrachapalam jivanam Khalu dehinam taTha viDhim ithi thva shashvatham kalyaaNam aacharethi. What does this mean, Amma?
The word meaning jalanthah, like water, Chandra, moon, chapalam, shaky, Khalu, like this, dehinam, peoples, jivanam, life. thaTha, likewise, viDhi, the order, ithi, so, thva, you, shaashvatham, always, kalyaaNam, do good, aacharethi, in your activities. The translation goes like this. The moon's reflection on a water body is always shaky. So is the life of human beings. This is the order. Keep doing good always.
We chose this Subhashita today because of the Chandrayaan 3 mission being successful. The Vikram rover landed on the south pole of the moon on the 23rd of August 2023, just a few days earlier. In celebration, Prime Minister Modi has declared this day as National Space Day going forward. India is the first nation to land on the south pole of the moon, although it is the fourth nation to have any kind of a lunar landing mission. There is a tradition of naming the location of touchdown. The point where the Chandrayaan 3 landed has now been called the Shiv Shakti Point. This is just about 70-80 kilometers from where Chandrayaan 2 lander crash landed on the moon. And the point where that crash landed is now called the Tiranga Point. For this mission, ISRO has used completely homegrown technology without help from any other nation. And ISRO has achieved this on a very low budget and in a very cost-effective way. So much so that the world is now looking to India for guidance for building newer missions. Through this mission, India hopes to monitor the movements of the Earth as if it was an exoplanet using the machinery now on the moon. It also plans to monitor the seismic activity within the moon and get a better understanding of the moon's landscape. ISRO's mission is not just to stake a claim in the astronomical world, but also to use all of the technology developed for this and advance applied science to improve lives of us common citizens.
Let's get back to the Subhashita. It speaks about the reflection of the moon on water bodies. Everyone will here remember the story of little Rama, who was asking his parents to get him the moon. Then Kausalya thought of a solution. She brought a big bowl of water and got the reflection of the moon in that water. Little Rama splashed his hand in that water and was ecstatic that he caught the moon. This is innocence.
The moon itself is shining because of the reflected light of the sun. And now someone wants to capture the moon in a pot of water. Very meaningless for adults, but a wonderful child's game. Every child in India grows up hearing that the moon is a mama or Chanda mama. Mama means maternal uncle. But why is the moon mama? Why not any other relative? Well, there are multiple explanations for that. One is that it is said that during the Samudra Manthana, Lakshmi came out first and the moon came after her. And since the moon came after Lakshmi, he is considered the younger brother of Lakshmi. And since Lakshmi is considered as mother, moon becomes a maternal uncle for all of us. A similar explanation given is that the moon is also considered the brother of our mother earth. So whichever you believe, he is our mother's brother and so a mama. So we see a lot of nursery rhymes and songs made up for children talking about Chanda Mama, who is really very far from the earth. Here is a common Hindi nursery rhyme, which the Prime Minister also referred to in his congratulatory speech right after the moon landing. Chanda Mama dur ke, उड़न खटोले बैठ के मुन्ना चंदा के घर जाएगा, तारों के संग आंख मिचोली खेल के दिल बहलाएगा. And the Prime Minister joked that instead of Chanda Mama Dur Ke, meaning Chanda Mama who is very far away, it has now become Chanda Mama Tour Ke. That means it's easy for us to visit him.
Let's go back to the Subhashita again. The Subhashita says, go on doing good. Here I am reminded of this story from Mahabharata. Karna was once keeping a good oil bowl in his left hand and massaging himself with oil. Krishna comes along, appreciates the oil bowl, and asks for it. Without thinking, Karna just offers him the bowl from his left hand. Krishna asks him, what is this? You are giving a dana from the left hand, not your right. Then Karna says, suppose the mind changes while transferring the bowl from the left to the right hand. I don't want that to happen, so I instantly gave you from my left hand. Krishna was very pleased with Karna's attitude, blesses him, returns the oil bowl, and goes away.
Even our ancestors have always been interested in astronomy. They had figured out about the heliocentric universe long before the Westerners came along with what we call modern science. As early as 8th century before Common Era, an Indian astronomer named Yagnavalkya wrote in his book called the Shatapatha Brahmana that the distance between the earth and the moon is 108 times the diameter of these two bodies. Modern astronomers, with their high tech instruments, have now calculated that this value is 110.6 times. So Yagnavalkya's calculations were pretty close, given that all of this was done only through observation using their eyesight. I think it is common knowledge that the Hindu calendar is based on the lunar cycle. Except for Shankranti, all our festivals are based on the moon cycle. It's only Shankranti that coincides with Uttarayana, that is, the sun's journey towards the North Pole.
An interesting story from our scriptures. Chandra was married to the 27 daughters of Daksha Prajapati. At that point, Daksha had asked Chandra to show equal interest, respect, and love to all his 27 daughters. But Chandra was particularly infatuated by Rohini and spent more time with her. Daksha curses him, saying, let your brightness go on reducing. So at one point, Chandra did become lusterless. He runs to Lord Shiva for rescue. Shiva then gives him the boon that he gradually regains his luster also and takes him on in his jeta or hair as a protective measure.
The 27 daughters of Daksha who become the wives of the moon are Ashwini, Bharani, Krutika, Rohini, Mrugashira, Ardra, Punarvasu, Pushya, Ashlesha, Purva Phalguni, Uttara Phalguni, Hasta, Chitra, Swati, Vishakha, Anuradha, Jeshtha, Moola, Purvashadha, Uttarashadha, Shravana, Dhanishta, Shatabhisha, Uttara Bhadrapada, Revati, Purva Bhadrapada, and Magha. Interestingly, these are the names of the brightest stars in the 27 constellation through which the moon passes. In the story that you just narrated, Amma, Rohini Nakshatra is the constellation in which the moon spends the maximum amount of time as seen from the earth. So this story also encapsulates an astronomical truth and makes it easily accessible to all of us.
This Subhashita encourages us to keep on doing good. We have this poem in Kannada. Indina dinave shubha dinavo, indina vara shubhavara. So don't wait to do good things. Keep doing it always. Likewise, in Sanskrit, we say Shubhasya Shigram. When you want to do something good, let it be fast. Also in Hindi, we have this Doha by Kabir. Kal kare so aaj kare so ab. So keep doing good whenever possible, whichever way possible, to whomsoever possible, in whatsoever manner possible.
So that's it for today. If you see, a majority of these Subhashitas encourage us to do good. What are your thoughts about this? See you in the next episode.